I'm Eeva-Liisa Nieminen from Helsinki, Finland, and I came here to learn because human agency was not the initial starting point, but when I proceeded in my work, I just saw that so many things with like agency emerged from my data. I also realized that the last corrections which I made in my PowerPoint, I didn't send the right one. So here, for example, there's no title. The initial title was like A Door to Success in Life, 9th grade students' experiences about motivation in physics and chemistry learning. But then I changed it to students as agents of their lives, and then realized. And I am, do you see it? Is it good? Or do we have to? So I'm a teacher of physics and chemistry and mathematics in a secondary school in Finland, with many years of experience. And now I am preparing a doctoral thesis. And I restarted educational studies when teachers were expected to participate in developing of curricula. And I have done my doctoral studies working full time at the same time, so it's not like you have 4 years and it's ready. But for now I have seen that I must have some free time also. I have had some study leaves for 2 months, so I always progress better when I can do it full time. And why doctoral studies? For me, studying is a development project, and as such, it's a piece of human agency. Me being able to participate and shape my teaching, and it gives additional motivation in schoolwork. Then I wrote something that participating in courses and conferences is nice and rewarding, but completing the thesis, it necessitates hard work. Finally, you have to be very precise. And it offers a perspective of reflection. If I have in my schoolwork, if I have encountered over and over again the same challenges, and then I have a feeling that I have to resolve them in some way, like getting the answer. Why does this happen like this? And I have seen that science teaching in Finland, and I know that also here in England, it has been a target of many attempts to change it. And researchers give ideas how we should do it, and the teachers adapt them in their ways. But only rarely students are asked. And in this study, the focus is in students' voice, their participation. And this is a phenomenological study, so I use the phenomenological method. So for the last 2 months, I focused on the literature, motivation and interest, and also social cultural theories. My current concern is, I have not resolved it yet, how something happening in a classroom which binds together many different aspects of life can be analyzed using consistently only one traditional research. A classroom is like a diamond which shines beautifully only when many facets are cut. A teacher can't restrict to one tradition and paradigm. And I use the self-determination theory of Raeln and interest theories. And I have written here that human agency interests me more and more because I realize that the way I have been acting and my students have been acting follow this theory. about agency, it has it can be created to these sentences that it has value for myself and for my students through increasing understanding of students' perspective. Practitioner, I don't know if it's a good word, but practitioner, teacher, researcher. As a teacher doing this research, I have a privileged possibility to serve as a mediator and link between the worlds of research and school. The good results in PISA obtained by Finnish students remain still at least partly unexplained. With my approach, I try to explicate for my part, with this case of science class, the learning environment of physics and chemistry. And as yesterday someone already told, in Finland, curricula have offered a lot of freedom to teachers to be independent inside the given framework. Here are my research questions, which I think in the last version I still corrected. They are quite complicated. I started with much broader research question. In this regard, offering an integrated picture derived from students' experiences in physics and chemistry does contribute to theoretical understanding, and in which respect motivation of students follow postulates of self-determination theory, and to what extent students' experiences have detailed correspondence with existing theories of the concept of interest, and fourth, how could theories of social cognitive tradition be used to explicate the wholeness of students' experiences. Do you all know this self-determination theory? No. So, causes of motivation for all human behavior in different domains of life. These causes are feeling of autonomy and relatedness and competence. And different stages of motivation derive depending on the locus of causality, which initiates the activity. And intrinsic motivation comes from the person's own interest. And when the person is intrinsically motivated, the activity brings him or her enjoyment and entire satisfaction. So this intrinsic motivation is considered like the best motivation, but still extrinsic motivation, which means that someone else tells what to do. So this can be also very motivating. Deci and Raeln represent a continuum from unmotivation, so no motivation at all, through different eccentric motivational states to intrinsic motivation. And here you see, I don't know if you see, but it depends on. So this is motivation. Okay, so it doesn't function like this. I can't touch it. So this is a motivation, and this is eccentric motivation, intrinsic motivation, and these are very depend on how much someone else is like influencing your choices, but they can be very motivating as well. And I like this schema, but I won't stay in this more, because I finally noticed with my students that I was expecting that when they have chosen science, they are all intrinsically motivated, but it was not like that. But many had other motives, and still they were very interested. I don't explicate here the phenomenological method, but from the beginning I liked it. I thought that it's method for me, and I made interviews of students, which I taught myself. There were 27 students, and I had some 20 interviews, but then I chose 6 interviews, which I included. I made research, so the research report included first-person narratives of 6 students. So I made narratives of these interviews, and it was quite easy because those students, what they told, it was almost like a good story as such. I only modified a little. And the research group is a special class with optional science courses. And as teacher, I departed from the ideas of constructivism and inquiry, aiming permanently to listen to students' response. However, this research being a part of the dialogue. So this means that in the beginning I was I thought that constructivism and inquiry, they are the best ways of making your or creating your lessons, but then perhaps I saw something else also. And here research questions were approached through theories of self-determination, interest, and the theory of communities of practice, and I put activity theory, but now I have learned so much about human agency, so activity theory is only something part of it. My attitude is phenomenological. Physics and chemistry at school are approached as phenomenon which appears as it is happening in other experienced world. By giving the phenomenon, by disclosing the phenomenon, we can reach an understanding about its being and give the possibility to appear as it is. So this includes some phenomenological terms which are like hidden in the text. Appearance and being, and disclose a phenomenon. Something about how I proceeded in the method. The 6 first-person narratives are included in the report, not only as data but part of the report. So my thesis is a monograph, not articles, and they are analyzed with this method. I proceed the reduction according to the systematic methods proposed by Heichner and Georgi, respectively. They are 2 different persons, not working with the same, quite same. Using successive, here I put columns because I do it in Word, so I proceed from one column to other, condensing the text and finding the phenomenological essence of students' lived experiences. When I buy the literature to my analysis, I can proceed using more columns and restructure the features and find salient arguments from descriptions. this slides is from the beginning, so active learning methods and the influence of classmates, something of the themes which were already in the interviews. Like, I wanted to know what is the importance of being able to participate and do science oneself. I think it's already something like agency. And also about is there a need for a model how to perform tasks? Does the teacher give a model? Is the teacher who first explains? And is the textbook a model and authority? What is the importance of classmates to learning, considering attitudes, cooperation, and being as a model? From my data, classmates emerge very importantly. Here I say something about my starting point, which I said already, that I thought that because they have chosen science, so they are something very specialized to science. But we as teachers, we wanted to show to present the different parts of science learning. So learning contents and learning about how science is done, and the learning about what science means in the society. And our goal as teachers while offering science classes was to fulfill all those aspects. But from the data, my conclusion is something like that these are teachers' definitions. Students navigate with the possibilities the best they can achieve their own active goals, which are often related to the utility of the subject for the student in future. Just look how much I still have, perhaps yeah. And the narratives show that students often tend to maintain their own structures. The theoretical stance for classroom is based on the ideas of constructivism and superiority of inquiry-oriented laboratory work. But ideas of human agency as social activism emerge from students' voice. The narratives give a rich picture of active persons who engage in studies, departing from their individual goals and needs. Motivation comes as importantly from desire to succeed in life, which leads to strong self-regulation as much as which leads to strong self-regulation as from intrinsic interests, or both intrinsic motivation. I wrote something about social context also. Being a member of science class enhances motivation. Students learn the best when learning provides a good explanation, and students like different learning methods because of interest and variety, and because they can feel autonomous and competent. Okay, thank you.